right. Today's September the 20th, 2017, and what I wanted to talk to y'all about today is a couple of other things um, dealing with the whole child pornography laws and how they affect. Really, the more I think about it, the more things I come up with for how it really screws everything up, which is just above and beyond, part and parcel, maybe you should say, or I should say, to the fact that it really is just an egregious violation of your rights. Now, I'm not saying that everybody who looks at child porn is a great person or somebody I want to spend a hell of a lot of time with. Okay, that's not what I'm trying to say. Um, you know, I mean, beyond the fact, I just there's not very many people in the world I can even bring myself to hang out with. Period. Let alone child molesters. But they're the bottom of the totem pole. I mean, they're the most. I mean, in prison they're the most. You know, they're the most targeted group. And anywhere you go, they're the most hated and most reviled people in the world. And yes, it's disgusting. Okay. Now, as far as child pornography is concerned, I want to tell you something. Okay. First of all, probably one of the probably the very first thing I want to say, excuse me, is that child pornography laws, first of all, really achieve the opposite of what their intended goals are, and that's something that I've really come up with here in the last couple of days. If you think about it, if you have somebody who has been found, like this guy who was the head of the New York Times or the president of the New York Times or something like that, and they found out he was running a child pornography website. Well, if say that had come to the cops, you know what I mean? Hey, this guy's running a child pornography website, and it wasn't illegal to look at child pornography. They could look at that guy and they could say, okay, here's the deal. What he's doing is not illegal. We can't do anything. But here's what we can do, and here's what we're going to do. We're going to get a warrant to run wiretaps on this guy because he's getting this stuff from somebody, you know? So we need to find out who he's getting it from, and then whenever we find out who they are, we run wiretaps on them, find out who they're getting it from. Eventually, we find out who's doing this stuff. And then we can run wiretaps on them, and we can catch them doing it and run sting operations and stop kids from getting molested on video. I mean, imagine how a kid feels that a video is actually watching them, and that with the World Wide Web and everything being interconnected, that the stupid fucking adults couldn't even figure out how to fucking stop these disgusting bastards from getting to this point, A, or B, that there will never be justice done at all because this bullshit is going on, you know? You know, a kid's thinking, well, look at that. He's doing it on a web camera. Surely somebody can find out who is doing this. And no, we cannot find out who's doing this because of the laws that are in place. We're going to bust the guys, the low-level guys that are selling it, looking at it, etc. It's just going to mitigate any meaningful investigation whatsoever. It's similar to what's happened in the drug war, where the resources are spread so thin that they can't get a decent prosecution rate for actual homicide. And then half the homicides are because of the drug war, you know. So it's just a big disaster, you know, and that's what happens when you start making stuff illegal that ain't supposed to be illegal. Beyond the fact that it's just outright goddamn persecution for you stupid zealot bastard creeps that Jesus Christ was dead set against. And this is basically the whole reason of the fucking Bible. But you can't understand it because you're stupid as fuck. And, you know, it's just, We have more people locked up than any country in the world. I mean, geez, this hurricane came in and we couldn't even evacuate the prisoners. They had to sit in flooded cells. We've got more prisons than any country in the world. It's not because we don't have enough excessive prisons to house these guys in. We could empty these prisons out overnight. We'd have half of these fucking prisons empty. And then what are you going to do with all these fucking innumerable people that are in there for these goddamn violent crimes, robberies? Oh my god, it's just unbelievable. You could have a whole fucking movie about one guy that was innocently prosecuted and just be such a tearjerker, and yet it's just like a catastrophe in your environment. Probably somebody is living through this shit, being basically falsely prosecuted under a system that promotes homicide, and another thing I was thinking about this child pornography thing is that whenever you have people that are in prison for crimes that really aren't crimes, and you've got somebody in there for, I mean, this is a little bit less of an argument, but if you've got a guy who is on the pedophile network of people that are being watched by the neighborhood on the internet, etc., because they've done indecent things with kids, and then you got people on there and it's like ownership of child pornography, I don't know. It just seems like it's just going to be more difficult to get onto your internet connection and find out where the creeps are, because half the motherfuckers are in there because somebody planted shit on their computer, because it's so fucking easy to get somebody locked up. Even if they looked at it, who even knows if they were even aroused at all, or if they were just totally just disgusted, and probably somebody sent them something and was like, look at this, and they're like, ugh, and it was like, I wonder if that's really what it is. It's funny because it's like you shouldn't even click it, but you're just like, god damn it, like I wonder if that's really what this shit is, because there's no way somebody's sending me this shit, sending me this stuff. It's disgusting, man. You can run into it. It's everywhere, And that's the thing about it, is where these people need to be facing themselves at the end of whatever, they go through whenever they look at this stuff and they do what they do. And there needs to be a huge just feeling of, what the fuck did I just do? What the fuck did I just look at? And instead they're kind of on another level of an adrenaline rush because they're trying to evade some ridiculous hide-and-seek bullshit that the government has set up, So they're instead of facing themselves and getting through it and becoming a goddamn outright child molester who's gonna fuck with some kid, no, they get another little fucking bullshit thrill out of the jackass fucking government that can't get enough. Rape, child molestation, fucking murder, homicide, slavery. It's disgusting. It's crazy.